Moving is a headache. Renting a portable storage container sounds like the perfect solution. Companies like 1-800-PACK-RATT promise convenience. They drop a big metal box at your door. You fill it up on your own time. Then they move it for you. It seems simple, straightforward, and modern. You see their ads everywhere, promising a stress-free experience. They sell you on the idea that you are in total control of your move, freed from the strict schedules and high costs of traditional moving companies. It's a compelling pitch, one that millions of Americans buy into every single year. But what happens when that promise of convenience turns into a trap? What if the company you trust with all your worldly possessions decides to hold them hostage? It's a nightmare scenario most of us never consider. We sign the digital contract, click agree on the terms and conditions, and assume the best. We believe we are just renting a simple steel box. But in reality, we might be signing away our rights, handing over control to a faceless corporation that can change the rules and the price whenever it feels like it. This isn't just a possibility, it's a reality for some unlucky consumers. The problem often starts with the fine print. These agreements are long, full of legal jargon, and designed to protect the company, not you. They give the company immense power over your belongings. You think the container on your driveway is just temporary storage under your watch, but the contract might say otherwise. It may give the company the right to access, move, or even seize your container under certain conditions you probably didn't even know you agreed to. It's a classic case of hidden risks buried under the promise of an easy solution. This isn't just about a bad customer service experience. It goes deeper. It's about how some companies can leverage their position of power against the average person. They have your stuff, they have your credit card number, and they have a contract that you probably didn't read closely. This combination creates a dangerous power imbalance. When a dispute arises, you quickly discover that the simple service you signed up for has become a complex and costly predicament, leaving you feeling powerless and trapped by the very company that promised to make your life easier. Let me tell you about one customer's story. It's a cautionary tale. She needed 2 storage containers for her move. She called PACK-RATT and ordered both on the same day, for the same address, for the same purpose. The company agreed to deliver them. The first container arrived in the morning as scheduled. Everything seemed fine. The process was smooth, just like the commercials promised. She started loading her life into this big metal box, feeling confident that she had made the right choice for her upcoming move. She had no reason to suspect anything was wrong. Then, the second container arrived that very same afternoon. It was identical to the first one. Same size, same color, same logo on the side. But when she received the bill, she noticed something strange. The price for the second container was $80 higher than the first. How could this be? It was the same day, the same order, the same service. There was no logical reason for such a significant price difference. It felt like a mistake, a simple billing error that a quick phone call could resolve. She assumed it was an oversight. She called customer service expecting a simple fix. Instead, she was met with resistance. The company representative was unhelpful. They offered no clear explanation for the price discrepancy. They simply stated that was the price and refused to adjust it. The customer was baffled. It felt unfair. This wasn't about a few dollars, it was the principle. How can a company charge 2 different prices for the exact same service rendered just hours apart? This wasn't just poor service, it felt like a classic bait-and-switch tactic. Frustrated and feeling cheated, the customer decided she didn't want to do business with a company that operated this way. She made a choice. She would find another, more transparent company for her move. She informed PACK-RATT that due to the pricing issue and the poor customer service, she would be cancelling her service. She planned to have another company pick up her belongings. She thought this would be the end of it. She thought she had the right to take her business elsewhere. She was wrong. The real nightmare was just beginning. Her decision to stand up for herself and switch to a competitor is where things took a dark turn. Instead of simply arranging to pick up their empty containers and close the account, the company retaliated. They informed her that her containers were now effectively impounded. Yes, impounded. These were the containers sitting on her own private property, filled with her personal belongings. The company claimed she couldn't touch them. They told her she was not allowed to remove her items or have another company access them. Her own property was now off limits to her. Suddenly, the company she had hired to help her move was preventing her from doing so. They were holding her possessions hostage. To get access to her own things, she was told she would have to pay a series of exorbitant fees. There were impound fees, cancellation fees, and other mysterious charges that had never been mentioned before. The total came to hundreds of dollars. It was a clear message. If you complain or try to leave us, we will make you pay. It was a punitive action designed to punish her for daring to question their billing practices. The situation felt surreal. How could a company do this? How could they legally prevent her from accessing her own furniture, clothes, and memories while the containers sat just feet from her front door? It highlights a terrifying loophole in these rental agreements. The company maintains ownership of the container itself, and they use that ownership as leverage. They can effectively lock you out, even on your own land. She was trapped. She couldn't move forward with her new moving company, and she couldn't get her belongings back without giving in to the company's demands. This is the power these companies wield. They know you're in a vulnerable position. Moving is stressful and time-sensitive. They bet that you'll eventually give in and pay whatever they ask, just to end the ordeal and get your life back. It's a business model that seems to profit from conflict and intimidation rather than customer satisfaction. Her simple attempt to get fair pricing had spiraled into a standoff, with all of her worldly goods hanging in the balance, held captive by the very people she had paid to protect them. The most shocking part of this ordeal is how the power dynamic is completely flipped. You believe you are the customer, the one in charge. But when a dispute occurs, you find out you have no control at all. This customer learned that lesson the hard way. Even after she paid the hefty fees to end her contract, the charges didn't stop. The company continued to bill her a monthly rental fee for the containers. How is that possible? Her contract was terminated. She had paid their penalty fees. Yet the automatic billing continued, a zombie charge from a dead account. This demonstrates a systemic failure. The company's actions appeared to be pure retaliation. Because she complained, she was subjected to a series of punitive measures designed to cause maximum financial and emotional distress. Her belongings were not safe, even when they were sitting in her own driveway. The physical security of the steel box means nothing when the company holding the keys and the contract decides to use them against you. Her story serves as a stark warning to anyone who thinks renting a container is a simple transaction. This is about more than just one company or one bad experience. It's about deceptive advertising and unfair business practices that can be buried in the terms and conditions of any service agreement. Companies promise flexibility and fairness, but their contracts are often rigid and one-sided. They lure you in with attractive initial offers, only to trap you with hidden fees and punitive policies if you ever step out of line. The burden is placed squarely on you, the consumer, to read every word of a lengthy legal document that you may not fully understand. So what's the takeaway? Give me a break. You shouldn't have to hire a lawyer just to rent a storage box, but you do need to be careful. Be skeptical. Ask questions. Get pricing guarantees in writing. Understand the cancellation policy before you sign anything. And be aware that when you hand over your possessions to one of these companies, you are also handing over a tremendous amount of power. Be prepared for the possibility that the convenience they advertise can come at a very high and very unfair price.